Thank you for choosing Linus. We strongly recommend you have your bicycle assembled by a professional mechanic. If you prefer to do it yourself, always have a mechanic inspect your bike before riding. Should you have any questions about the assembly process, please contact Linus Customer Service. We're happy to walk you through it. Now, welcome to the Roadster, Dutchi, and Mixte 3i assembly video. Carefully remove the box staples with a screwdriver. Do your best to preserve the box. Though unlikely, you may need it for return shipping, or a warranty claim. Inside you'll find some loose parts. And a smaller inner box. Before starting assembly, check the contents of the inner box. You'll find an owner's manual. Pedals. A front reflector, a rear reflector, and in some cases touch-up paint. You'll also find a toolbox with a 15mm box wrench. Grease and applicator. And 6, 5, and 4mm hex wrench. Clip the zip ties to remove the packaging. Pay attention to avoid contact with the frame, or you could scratch the paint. If you are assembling your bike on a hard surface, we recommend not removing the plastic fork protector until you are ready to insert the wheel. With a 6mm Allen wrench, loosen the bolt at the top of the handlebar stem. This will allow you to remove the plastic cap at the bottom of the stem. Apply grease to the bottom of the stem. Insert the handlebar stem into the frame. Pay special attention to minimum insertion line on the neck of the stem. For your safety, it is important that the stem is inserted past the insertion line. Make sure all 3 cables pass in front of the stem and handlebar. Do not fully tighten the stem bolt at this time. You'll still need to fine-tune the steering alignment. Remove the front brake using a 5mm Allen wrench. Pass the brake bolt through the fender tab. Then the washer. And into the fork crown. Attach the brake nut at the back of fork, but do not fully tighten at this time. Flip the brake release to the open position. Prepare the wheel by loosening both axle nuts, about 1/2 inch. Remove the plastic fork protector. Pay special attention that both sides of the axle are resting firmly against the fork end and that the wheel is centered between the fork blades. Finger tighten both axle nuts as far as you can. You can now drop the kickstand. The bike is stable. With the closed end of a 15mm wrench, firmly tighten both nuts. Use enough force that the wrench leaves an impression on your hand. With a 4mm Allen wrench, remove the bolts at the fork dropout. Adjust the fender stays so the round bracket is centered on the arc. Reinsert the bolts through the eyelets on the fender stay. Repeat the previous steps to attach the rear fender stays. With a 6mm Allen wrench, loosen the clamp bolt on the underside of the stem. Rotate the handlebar so the grips are level to the ground. Lock down the bolt clamp with enough force that the wrench leaves an impression on your hand. Standing over the front wheel, align the stem so it is centered over the tire. Now firmly lock down the stem bolt. Turn the brake release to the closed position. With a 5mm Allen wrench, Loosen the brake pad. Align the pad so it is centered on the rim. Pay special attention that the brake pad does not make any contact with the tire. Small adjustments to the brake can be made with the barrel adjuster. Rotate the silver barrel counterclockwise to tighten, and clockwise to loosen. Adjustments have to be made on the barrel. The disc with the rubber edge is for locking the barrel in position. With your hand, squeeze the brake pads against the rim. Now, loosen the cable nut. Pull the brake cable tight. Then lock down cable nut. Hold the brake while firmly tightening the brake bolt. This aligns the brake caliper. Apply grease to the bottom third of the seat post. Insert the seat post into the frame. Always insert the seat post past the minimum insertion line. Align the seat so it is centered over the bike. Firmly tighten the seat clamp bolt with a 5mm Allen wrench. There is a right pedal and a left pedal. You must insert the correct pedal into the correct crank arm. Failing to do so will cause permanent damage to the crank arm. Identify the pedal by either an R for right or an L for left, by a sticker or a letter stamp on either end of the spindle. Apply grease to the thread. Insert the pedal marked right into the right side crank arm. Seat the pedal into the crank threads by rotating the spindle clockwise. And then, with the open end of a 15mm box wrench, tighten with enough force that the wrench leaves an impression on your hand. For the left pedal, rotate the spindle counterclockwise. To install the rear rack, remove the bolts on the seat stay and rear dropout. Align the rack over the wheel and attach with the bolts. Attach the front reflector. The recommended tire pressure is indicated on the side of the tire wall. Remove the valve cap and attach the pump. Next, set the seat height to just below your hip. The saddle should not rotate independently of the frame. Firmly grip the brake levers. The wheels should lock and there should be no movement in the handlebar stem. Make sure both wheels spin freely. Make sure the crank arm spins freely of the chain guard. If necessary, bend the metal so it does not make contact. With the front wheel secured between your legs, attempt to rotate the handlebars. Handlebars should not rotate independently of the front wheel. Lift the bike about 12 inches of the ground. Let it drop to ensure there are no loose parts.